This is Football Analysis and I'm here with
Arsenal.
Welcome back to the studio.
You're welcome as well.
All right, Calafiori is here we go. How do you feel about the transfer?
I feel so excited. I feel so happy about the signing, even with the flops, the ups and downs during the process of the signing. But yeah, here we go.
It took Arsenal 3 weeks plus or close to a month to make one signing. What do you think that happened? What do you think that happened? Is it because of the financial issues or whatever? What happened?
I would not say it's the financial issue. I would not say that. Though Arteta has spent a lot of money on during his so far in Arsenal, in his tenure so far. So I don't think it's a financial issue. We are not supposed to consider that. But I think there was an undergoing or a background discussion that is happening between Bologna and Basel. That there's a connection between them. That Arsenal can't just go ahead with Arsenal can't just go ahead and sign him. They have to finalize. Basel has to finalize with Bologna before Bologna can come to Arsenal. Then they can see the deal. So I think it's a very good signing for us, and that should probably be the reason behind that long period of signing.
All right, so Basel technically puts 50% sell-on clause on Calafiori, and selling it to you guys, I heard Bologna still puts 50% sell-on clause. You see how important this player is?
Calafiori, you are talking about Calafiori being an important player. Of course, he's a well-talented player, a fantastic player indeed. You can see his performance in a Euro. You can see what he did. He's an utility player. If in case you don't know, let me tell you this: utility player in the sense that he can play more than a position. You can play as a centre back, can play as a left back as well. If possibly, if you can set him into that midfield, he's going to play it. But I'm not saying Arteta should do that. But I think he's capable of doing the tackling and more of defensive.
And he's good with ball.
Yes, and he's good with ball. He's a ball playing player, so he can distribute the ball, no panicking or no too much pressure on him. Yes, and I think with the little experience he had in Bologna, yes, and he's part of the national team. So obviously, before someone can be called to the national team, of course, he's a fantastic player and he has showed workings.
Do you think Jorginho played a very fantastic role in this deal?
Yeah, obviously, I would not say he didn't play any role. I don't know, but I think Jorginho will play a fantastic role in the signing because he's his teammate, obviously, and they are from the same country. So there's no how a player that is coming from a team, either a team or a country, if you are together, if you are playing together, or probably if you're playing together in the team or if you're playing together in the country, there's no how you will not talk to the person to convince him or him to come to your team. Obviously, and Arsenal is a very great club with good history. So definitely he's going to make an impact.
Really? So coming in or signing this player now, do you think this is what Arsenal needs to be able to clinch a trophy this season?
You can see the signing is a fantastic one to the point that he has gave Arsenal a very serious defensive depth. So obviously you can see it now. So we don't have to panic. We don't have to be bothered about defensive. What's going to happen to my defense if Saliba goes on injury? If Gabriel goes on injury, there is enough replacement. Timber is there. Kiwo is there. Calafiori now is there. Gabriel is there, Big Gabi is there, Saliba is there, Willow is there, Ben White is there, Tomiyasu is there, Zinchenko is there. Look at that. We have enough players at my back now, so I don't have any problem. And Calafiori is going to be a very fantastic fit in for Arsenal squad.
I think it's a very good, fantastic signing for Arsenal. But man, look at that 4 lines, that 4 defensive, that back line, having Ben White, having Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori. Man, can any attacker beat this 4 line?
I don't want to make too much of mouth.
Can any attacker beat this wall?
Like I said, I don't think so. Because you can see Ben White is a very aggressive player. He tackles more of defensive to offensive. So even Calafiori, I think it's more of defensive to offensive. So I think even without Calafiori last season, you can see what happened. Even with the shuffling and everything, they could not penetrate. Arsenal considered less goal and compared to any other team in Premier League. So with Calafiori being in the team again, I don't think any player you will sweat before you can penetrate that defense.
Man, this is a I don't know how to say about it, but do you think Arsenal is winning the league next season?
Um,
Do you think, because look at the defensive setup. Look at the defensive setup.
the,
Well, we've not talked about the midfield. We've not even talked about the front line. Look at the defensive setup first.
I will not use that to judge the winning of the title because of the defense. Defense has their own responsibility. Likewise, midfield and the attackers.
But there's something Ferguson used to say. Ferguson said, "Attackers wins you game, defense wins you title."
No problem. I will accept that, but in other hand, I will not, because you can see what happened to Arsenal last season. Like I said earlier, we considered less good compared to, and I had a fantastic pairing at my back. So with that, am I not supposed to win the league? But see what happened. So I think it's going to be a very, very, very tough time for my opponent.
All right, so looking at your setup now, I think my mind, one thing is telling me that you guys are copying Pep Guardiola. Do you think Arteta is copying Pep Guardiola? Because if you look at the kind of setup he has at the back line, look at it. Just take a look at Man City's setup. You have Javido there, our big Javido. You have Kyle Walker. You have no, not Laporte again. You have Ruben Diaz. You have what's it called? The Australia guy, Stones. You have the Australia guy, Switzerland guy, Akonji.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Look at the defensive setup now. Look at Arsenal's defensive setup. Do you think as Arteta is copying Pep Guardiola?
Arteta is not copying anything. He's just doing his job. He's doing his job because he knows what he wants. He has spent a lot of money. He has signed a lot of players in the past season. Signed Timber, signed Havertz, signed Jorginho. He has signed a lot of players. Look at Chelsea. Does Chelsea not have the squad depth? Even with the fact, the only problem that happened, the only reason why Chelsea ended up in that situation last season was because of their injury crisis. Look at Chelsea squad. Look at their right back and their left back. Look at Gusto and Rhys James. Fantastic player. Look at their left Chilwell and Cucurella. Fantastic players. Look at their back. I don't know about their centre back, but their centre back you can see their Disasi, but they actually now they've signed to Tosi Adarabioyo. They have squad depth as well. Look at their midfield as well. So are you going to say Chelsea is copying Manchester City? No.
Well, I won't say Chelsea is copying Manchester City because the pattern of players they have is not really like Manchester City type. Arsenal is a replica of Manchester City right now in Premier League, but that's not the discussion now. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. So, considering all these things now, do you think Arsenal needs more signing, or is it enough to go into the new season?
I don't need more signing.
But I think you need a 1 point man now.
Yes, that is what I want to say. I said I don't need more signing, but I just need one more signing. I don't need more, but I just need one more. That just one more is just a striker. If Arsenal can get a striker, though my players, my wingers, and my midfielders, they are always working together. The connection between them, you can see if you go back to Premier League last 2 seasons. I would say it's Arsenal that has more goal contribution. The attackers, they have more goal contribution than any other team in Premier League. So that's just the beauty of it. So imagine a striker be there, giving him ball, serving him well, and you're scoring goals. Obviously, you'll be competing for the golden boot.
But I don't think Arsenal needs a 1 point. Yeah, they need, but I don't think the pattern will allow 1 point striker. Reason is being that Arsenal pattern of play accommodates almost everybody to score. Even the defense, the attack, the midfielders. Mostly the midfielders, from the midfield to the attack, everybody scores. Yeah. So their pattern of play accommodates everybody to score. So if you go and bring in 1 point man, he'll be waiting for you guys to serve him. Whereas in Martinelli's head, he got to shoot. Whereas in Saka's head, he got to create and shoot. So it will be a problem for me. I think it will be a problem, introducing them into a new striking role that they must cut, dribble, then pass. Most of them don't know about it. All they know today, as we are talking about now, is to, do whatever you want to do and still shoot. But, do whatever you have to do and still pass. I don't think it will be very, very, very possible. Considering, look at Man City. Man City tried their best in getting Haaland, and it was, Pep Guardiola is a monster. Pep Guardiola is the chief. So he has to impact it in their players. Not like before you guys are playing, everybody is scoring. You have to give Haaland. And it took them a while to understand that, because if you look, when the season started with Haaland, it was only KDB that is serving Haaland.
Yeah.
Others are playing to score, folding, everybody is playing to, until they get to understand that, okay, there was a certain time KDB went on injury, and as Haaland didn't score for over 4-5 matches. They didn't give him ball, he didn't score. Pep has to call them back and say, look, this is not only KDB's work, it's everybody's work. Do whatever you have to do and release the ball to the striker. That's it. And boom, Haaland started striking again. So I think this is the same thing that will happen to Arsenal if care is not taken. So what can you say about that? Because the pattern of play won't allow 1 point man to succeed in Arsenal.
But nonetheless, a pattern usually changes. So I would not say it's not necessarily you use a pattern. You are in Premier League, for God's sake. It's not necessarily use a pattern. If a pattern is not working for you to get more goals, then you should change it. If Arsenal should get a 9, I don't think it's going to be a problem for the 9. We just need to observe well and get a very utility 9. Not a 9 that will stay in a position that will be waiting for ball. A 9 that can get the ball from the midfield, that can use the ball as well and shoot. Get the ball and shoot. Get the ball from the wingers and shoot. Though it might reduce the rate at which the winger scores. But then, if you get a 9 that can score, you can see what Havertz was doing. Haaland, we just improvised just to put him there. Okay, let's see what he can do. Unfortunate for Ugo, he lost a lot of chances last season that could have helped us to secure more goals than that. But then we need a 9 that know that, okay, my job is to score. Nonetheless, just leave the fact that, okay, it's going to affect the winger. That is not the beauty of it. Yes, individual performance is very, very essential. Yes, we know that. But then once you get a 9, you know your work to do as a winger. So I don't think that will be a problem for Arsenal if Arsenal should sign the 9. But then I don't know what Arteta plans is. I don't know. I'm just saying from my own head, because I think that is what most Arsenal fans will want at the moment, even with the signing of Calafiori. But then no problem. Let's see what happens. Maybe probably the January transfer. If Arsenal is not signing a striker now, maybe possibly. Let's see what will happen.
But do you think they will sign?
It's not certain, because we were in a deal with Benjamin Sesko. We were trying to seal a deal with Benjamin Sesko and this guy Curry. What is it called? This guy from Sporting. But unfortunate for us, the deal was closed. Benjamin Sesko signed another deal, 5-year deal for his team. So we had to abandon that. And okay, let's observe the market. And during the Euros, we scouted and we saw Calafiori. And here we go. He's here in Arsenal.
All right. So Calafiori, here we go. Arsenal are done with the deal, and it's a good one for Arsenal. Guys, what do you think about the deal? Is it a good one for Arsenal? Do you think he will make a very big impact in Arsenal team? And I want you guys to tell me what you think on the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and please guys, if you've not followed our page, follow our page, and also subscribe to our YouTube at Football Analysis 247. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.
Arsenal.